If you're anything like me, this could be your first Star Wars celebration. It could be your fourth. This one coming up in LA will be my sixth. I went to 2007 in Los Angeles, 2015 and 22 in Anaheim, and then 23 London, and the most previous 2025 Star Wars Celebration Japan. The past 3 years, I've really gotten into the pin trading. I think it's one of the best part of the conventions, honestly. It's so fun just kind of being on the hunt, interacting with people you maybe usually wouldn't, asking to trade, just the people you meet, the kind of excitement of going after pins that you really, really want, especially the chases and some of the sponsored pins. If it's something you're not into, I would recommend it. Even you don't have to collect them all like I kind of go for. You can just buy the mystery pins or the ones you think are cool. It still is just a great layer to add to the convention because there's kind of constantly something to do and be on the lookout for. So what we're going to do today is go through all the different categories of pins and what my experience is in the best way of trying to get them. So about half of the pins are really easy to get. So first off, we have the Road to Celebration pins. These are about 3 or 4 packs that they sell with the badges months before the con. So when you buy your single day, 4-day, whatever, you can just add the packs that are Road to Celebration into your cart and you will either get them delivered to you before the convention or they will be something you can pick up at the con. That's what ended up happening in Japan. They were like super delayed and took forever to get. I think like I got them on the 3rd day of the convention, honestly. But they're super easy. You have to buy them during that pre-order time when you buy your badges though. If you don't get them before the convention, you're screwed. They will not have them there for sale. Now what you can do with that though is you could buy extras of those Road to Celebration pin packs and use them to trade. A lot of people do miss out on the Road to Celebration pins, and then if you have something in there that they want, you could use that to trade for something you don't have. I have never done that, but I think it'd be interesting to test out because even if you don't end up trading the Road to Celebration pins you buy extra of, you could easily sell them on eBay for what you paid them, especially if it's right after the con. Usually people are just hot and crazy for the eBay buys, like right as the con is happening. They'll spend way more money than what they would go for a couple months after the con has ended. After the Road to Celebration pins, you have just the pin packs that they sell at the convention. I'm going to go over everything that you can buy in the Celebration Show store because there's no trick to it. You just go up to the cash register and buy it. All Star Wars Celebration pins, the pin packs, incentive pins, lanyard, and mystery packs are going to be bought at the Celebration Show store. So for the pin packs that they have there, you just go up to the cash register. That's where the pins are going to be. They're not going to be on display where you can like just grab them. Usually you have to ask someone for them and then they go and grab them for you. That's how you get the Character 4 packs. That's usually, again, 3 or 4 packs of pins that you just buy at the con. Usually you just buy them, throw them in a bag, and forget about them for the rest of the convention because you're only going to buy one of them. You're not going to be trading them. So once you got them, you're good. Once you buy those 4 packs, though, you're going to have spent enough money to get the incentive pin. In Japan, this was Jabba the Hutt. Basically, once you spend a ton of money for the pin packs, they give you the option to spend even more money to get the incentive pin. So again, that's just another quick, easy buy. There's also a lanyard pin at Japan that was C-3PO. Same thing, you get a lanyard. Where is my lanyard? This was the lanyard that they gave last year. It was just like, it's basically a collage of all the pins they had at Celebration Japan, and it came with C-3PO. Again, another easy one. You just buy it and you're good to go. The first more difficult pin I will get into is the staff pin. At Japan, it was a Lothcat. These are only given to, I think, mostly the ReedPop employees who are like running the show. Basically, all you have to do is find a worker, usually in the show store. You can find them at the celebration stages and just kind of walking throughout the con. But you can trade any of your pins with them. The catch is they don't have to trade with you. So you're going to have some workers who do not care about what their lanyard looks like or what you're giving to them. And in that case, if you have a character you don't like let's say you have 4 Ezras and you just need to get rid of them, you can trade multiple pins with the staff people. Maybe not yourself, but let's say you're with a group of 3 people and you're the only one who cares about pins. You could give them each an Ezra and use that to trade for 3 of the staff pins. And the staff pins can be powerful to trade with because for some reason, a lot of people struggle with them. Again, you find them in the show store celebration stages or just walking around sometimes. But if you're able to get a couple of these, especially on like the first day of the con, they're really easy to trade for the pins you're missing because people just struggle a little more to get them. And yeah, you might find someone who is just willing to, you can give them anything, even like, you don't have to just trade celebration pins. If you have past celebration pins, totally bring them. If you have duplicates from Anaheim 2022, bring them and people will definitely trade for them. If a staffer has a Lothcat that you want and you have a clone trooper from Anaheim 22 and they think it's cool, you can trade them that pin. Same with like Disney pins. I'd say merchandise in general. If you have something that anyone is willing to trade, there's no rules that say you can't trade a Disney Star Wars pin or an Anaheim 2015 Star Wars Celebration pin. Those are all totally fair game. So if you have something cool and someone's willing to trade, go for it. There's nothing saying that you can't do that. But again, the staff pins are kind of interesting, especially on the first couple of days of the con before a lot of people are able to get them. They can be super useful in trading for things you want. So that's about half of the pins right there. At Japan, there was 54 total pins. I got 52 of them. I'd say this is probably about 25, maybe even more pins, 30-ish right here, just in things that you can buy in the pre-order and at the show store, no problem. Where it gets interesting is these mystery pack pins and the sponsored pins. Let's go into the mystery pins first. These are little 2-packs that you buy at the Celebration store, and they usually cost about 20 bucks each, and you get 2 pins in each box. At Japan, there was 10 different pins, like regular pins, and then 2 chases. Though these numbers can fluctuate from con to con. For example, in London, there was 4 chases. At Japan, there was only 2. But with the mystery packs, really the name of the game is getting into the Celebration show store as soon as possible. So let's say the first day of LA 27 celebration is a Friday. If you don't get a Friday morning panel and you're looking to collect all the pins, get in line 3 hours early for the show store. They have separate lines. And if you do that, you're kind of just guaranteeing that you'll get into the show store within like the first 20-30 minutes of the convention. I saw a lot of people complaining during the con on like the Facebook and Discord that they were waiting in line for the show store for like 5 hours during the convention. I think that's a little silly, and I bet those are probably people who have less experience with the Star Wars celebrations. But if you're willing to wait 5 hours during the convention to get into the show store, why not just show up 3 hours early, get everything you want? And if you're willing to miss that time anyway, you can go take a nap and rest easy knowing you have all the exclusives you want. So I think getting to the con super early on like any of the days is super fun and just a good way to get the stuff you want. It is the Star Wars convention. It's probably one of the biggest conventions in the world. I've been to San Diego Comic-Con, and Celebration is just as crazy, if not crazier. And there's going to be a lot of people who want all the exclusives and who are going to be willing to wait in line to get them. So you got to kind of have a little bit of dog in you to get some of the stuff you want at these conventions. It's not going to be just super easy all the time. But if you get into the show store early, like I did in Japan, in the first 3 hours, or we waited in line 3 hours early, had a great time, met some cool people. We got into the show store, and like that, we were in and out. And I got all my pins and little exclusives that I wanted. If you can get a bunch of mystery pin packs, as many as the budget will allow, right at the start of the con, you're just giving yourself ammo to fight the battle of trading throughout the rest of the convention. The more duplicates you get, the more you have to trade with from the get-go. So you never know when a trade is going to pop up or when someone's going to have something that you want, and it's just better to get the pins that you want to trade with as soon as possible so you can trade the entirety of the con. So I think I bought 5 of the mystery pin packs in that first go through of the show store, and I got like 4 rays, and it was like, I was like, oh man, like no one's gonna want to trade Ray. Like, oh my god, like I already got 4 of them. I think I missed a panel actually that I had a ticket for because I went to the show store first, but it was totally worth it. But one thing I'll say is don't get discouraged. If something happens, you don't get the pins you want, 3-4 days is a long time, and the convention feels, it's longer than you think when you're trying to trade for stuff. You don't have to freak out, go on eBay or buy anything. Just kind of sit tight. If I have 9 out of 10 of the mystery pins and all I'm missing is a Ray, I'm going to be willing to trade something like the Ronin if I have a duplicate for it for that Ray, because everyone wants at least one of them if they don't have it. So don't get discouraged. The mystery packs, there really isn't too much to do. The chases are the most annoying part about the pin packs, and I'll get into that now. There was only 2 chases at Celebration Japan. I think the second chase was either May or Osha, and the Ghost Yoda, which I have 2 of, is what I was able to get. I just wasn't super interested in the twin. I already have one of the twins from one of the 4 packs that I bought, and it was just like the same pin, but she had daggers, and I wasn't willing to trade one of my blue Yodas for it. So I didn't get that one. But the mystery packs, actually kind of funny story. I don't think the pins sold as well as they would have liked, because for the first 2 days you had to go up to the register at the show store to get the pins. But on the last day, they just threw all the pins like in baskets on like the Celebration show or the Celebration store. It was just on the floor. You could walk up to it and grab them yourself. So what I started doing is, this little blue guy is smaller and less heavy than all these bigger pins. So I started shaking boxes. And I was trying to feel which one was lightest, because I figured if it was lighter, there was a better chance that it had a Yoda in it. So I got a couple that I felt were lighter, and then I started shaking the box. And if I felt a pin hit the side and then another bump immediately after that first bump, I knew there was probably a tiny Yoda in there that took longer to hit the side. So that was some like nerd stuff right there, really getting into it. But out of the 4 packs I bought, I got 4 Yodas, and one of them was a chase. So it all worked out in the end. But I will say with the chases, the biggest thing is to just collect as many pins as you can and wait until the last day. There really isn't any luck to it, or it's all luck, I mean. But by the last day of the convention, that's when you're going to have the most pins in circulation and the most chases in circulation. So I got both of these chase pins on the last day. So I'd say biggest advice for the chases is just kind of pray a little bit, like get some good karma and then hope you get them. But if you don't, wait until that last day. And I think if you're really looking and have good pins to trade, I think you could probably get it. Now for the sponsored pins, which are arguably the hardest pins to get. Sponsored pins are given to different retailers on the show floor of the convention. It could be Funko, Bandai, any of them, honestly, could get one of these pins. And most of the time, you have to buy $50 of their product to get the pin for free. So there was 10 in Japan, and I bought 3 of them. I bought the Grievous and the Ventress. And these, I just had to bite the bullet. They are really cool characters, super desirable, and I didn't see many people trading these pins for like anything. So with the cool sponsored pins, you kind of just have to bite the bullet. So I ended up buying Ventress, Grievous, and I also got Darth Maul. Darth Maul, though, was free. They can sell them for free. It's up to the retailer to decide how they want to let people get these pins. And there's like, I think the limit, though, is like $50 that you'd have to spend. So unless you're willing to spend $500 to just like get them all, you got to trade for them. But the mall was free at the Topps booth. Topps was clutch. So on the first day, I was in pin mode trying to get as much as I can as quickly as I could. Me and my family, there was 4 of us total, all went to the Topps booth, did the little interactive thing they had going on, and we got 4 mall pins. And by the second day, the mall pins were gone by like noon, maybe even like 11, an hour after the con opened, which made mall a super hard to get and desirable pin. And I was able to trade for some crazy stuff with those extra mall pins that I had. So basically, bite the bullet on the cool ones, get the free ones as quick as possible if you can. And then there were 10 total. I was able to trade just with my duplicates for 6 of the other retailer pins. And I saw a guy on the Celebration Discord, and what he and his buddy does, I can't remember his name, but they go to the show store as soon as possible. They each buy 10 of the mystery packs, and they complete as much of the mystery pins as they can. Then with the duplicates, they walk around the retailers, and they try and trade people who are just like buying merchandise, but don't really care about the free pin that they're getting. So let's say you see someone buy some merchandise, but they don't have any pins. They have a single Jawa that they just got because they bought something that they were gonna buy anyway. You could probably go up to that person and say, hey, I have this cool Ronin pin. Would you be willing to trade this for that Jawa? And if you run into someone who's not that into the pin trading and is not looking for any exclusivity or collecting the pins, they're probably gonna trade you this Jawa that they actually just spent $50 for an extra pin that you already have, because the pin that you already have is cooler. So let's say you get a Darth Vader or a Padme or a Yoda, and someone gets a BB-8 that they don't really care about. You can trade one of your cooler mystery pins that you have extra of for one of those sponsor pins. And that's pretty much what I did. I don't think I really found much success walking around the retailers and like approaching people after they bought stuff. And I don't know if I necessarily recommend it either. You're kind of like a hawk, like flying around the retailers, like, but you don't want to bother people. Always be respectful and kind and courteous. So if you see someone and they look like they might be willing to trade, a polite ask might, but don't hover anywhere too long. It can be really congested and busy. All 6 of these pins I got by just trading random people. Again, if I have an old pin or something that's cool and they just have, I remember the kid that had a Jawa, the only pin he had on his lanyard was a Jawa. That kid's not going to go and buy a bunch of mystery packs and try and complete a set. So he'll probably trade you a Stormtrooper or something Jedi that you have extra of immediately, because he'd rather have a Jedi than just a Jawa. So that really is the trick for getting the sponsored pins. Buy the cool ones and just always have your eyes open for any of the pins you're looking for, but especially the sponsored pins, because that rush you get when you get a sponsored pin that you didn't have to pay for is awesome. I got super hyped when I got all of these different sponsored pins just by trading extra mystery pins that I didn't want. The 2 pins I missed in this set, I missed the Osha or May, I can't remember which one, the evil one. And then the Kylo Ren was at the watch booth, and I just had no interest in buying a $50 watch. And because most of the products were like hundreds of dollars, there were not a lot of Kylo Rens that I saw. So I'm missing those 2, which puts me at 52 out of the 54 pins for Star Wars Celebration Japan. A couple of random tips here. If you're wearing a lanyard, I'd recommend wearing the pins that you have duplicates of on your lanyard that's most visible. If you have all your cool pins, people are going to look and see that you only have like 1 of each. Like here I had a bunch of Padmes, Ezras. These are all duplicates pins that I would have been willing to trade people with. So the more you have it visible, the more people are going to approach you and the more opportunities to trade you have. The more times you try and trade, the more likely you are to find someone with the pin you want. So I would recommend wearing the pins most visibly that you want to get rid of. Make friends. If you are in line for anything, walking around, talk to people. I think Star Wars Celebration, if you have like maybe social anxiety, I think this is one place you can kind of relax a little bit. And don't be afraid to go up to people. If you see people with lanyards, ask them if they want to trade. They're gonna say yes. Like, I have pretty much had nothing but good experiences at these celebrations. Sometimes people can get a little crazy for exclusives, but besides that, the community at Star Wars Celebration is wonderful. You're going to meet nothing but nice, passionate fans that want to talk to you and enjoy a conversation. So don't be afraid to talk to people. And when I was waiting in line for those 3 hours on the first day waiting for the show store, my girlfriend and I met 4 guys, and we ended up trading with them like throughout the entire con. We kept on running into them, and that was a super easy way to help me complete my set, was just a couple of guys that we made friends with. Join the Star Wars Celebration Discord. There's a Discord and a Facebook group. I'll try and put like the name of it, hopefully right here, and of the Discord and the Facebook group. There's 2 Discords. One of the Celebration Discords has a lot more people and is way more active. That's the one you're going to want to join. There is like a dedicated pin like chat room where you can like post what pins you have and what you're looking for. And I met up with people just to trade pins through the Discord who I probably never would have met otherwise. Same with the Facebook. The Discord and the Facebook are just great in general for like getting tips. Maybe if there's a line that's just outrageously long, you can hear about it, see what people are finding that works or doesn't work just about the con in general. Definitely join those groups. Stephen Moore Art, I'll also tag him, or at least put his username. He does a collage of all the pins, and that's a great little checklist. So you can just have that image screenshotted on your phone. He posts it on the Facebook and the Discord, and then you can just use that to check what you're missing and what you already have. Super easy, super cool. He's done them like for all the celebrations, which is super cool. Again, with the chases, just don't freak out. It can be pricey, so if this is something that you are interested in, I mean, for me personally, like Star Wars Celebration is my Super Bowl. Like, I love it so much. So I save money. I make sure I have a certain amount of money I'm willing to spend on the pins. If you don't have enough disposable income, then you'll know pretty much what all the pins are before you get there. Apart from the Road for Celebration, everything else you should be able to get at the con. But be prepared to spend a little money. It is expensive. If you just want the mystery pins or maybe the chases, then you can just buy the mystery pins. Some things I'd like to see though from the celebration is a little more variety in the pins we get. Honestly, this year was pretty good. Things like the Ronin, I think might be one of my favorite pins from this line because it's just unique. We get a Leia, a Luke, Obi-Wan, a lot of original trilogy stuff we see every year. I would love to see a very unique set of pins. I want like Gungan Generals, Wat Tambor, a Jedi version of Dooku, Yaddle. I want like golden First Order Stormtroopers to be chases. Like the Ghost Yoda is super cool. This pin is very different from any of the other ones. So like I would love to see a little more variety in LA's pins, but I will be making a pin review of all the Celebration 2025 pins. I have another pin board coming in soon. And once I get that, I'm going to pluck them all on there, and then I'll make a video discussing all the pins that they had. If any of you guys have any other little ideas or experiences that you have found useful in collecting some of these pins, drop them in the comments. I know this was a little bit of a word vomit, so if there's anything you are unclear about, let me know in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer any of you guys' questions. But yeah, that's about it.